The one guy who's always helped me like work my shit out since like junior high has been like my best friend Lester. The guy I started this whole YouTube journey with. That he's ruining the market, he's ruining the supply, whatever. All my items list at 7 o'clock. 7:15 it's sold. You know, I paid $100 for these 2 items, which is not too bad. I will own a Polaris slingshot with money I raised liquidating my collection. What up, YouTube? Welcome to the show, the weekly vlog where we go over all the happenings in life and the state of the video game collection that we call the Hoard. On today's video, a very vulnerable video from Mr. Wright Way gives me an epiphany. My online schemes for listing on eBay backfires, and it shows me that I have a problem. And we're gonna finally name the show. Before we get into anything though, I want to thank everybody who commented in the comments below. Thank you to everybody who responded to the posts. And a few people actually reached out to me on DM. So thank you guys very much. You're the reason why I continue on with the show, and you make what makes this show valuable. In my opinion, men helping men, boys being boys. I will react and I will bring up some comments that people left as we go on in the video. But before we get into the state of the video game collection, let's talk about this thing that we all do in life called life. How are you guys? Let me know in the comments below. What's up? What's going on with you? You know, we're back into the routine now of school, work. I got some good reps in the gym this week. I made a commitment not to drink Coke for like a week. To just prove to myself that I could do it. And I did it this week. So thank you guys very much. It kept me accountable. But I did have a Diet Coke today. I could only last a week. So I've been talking about it since like video 1. What am I going to call this show? This thing that we do. I think it's important to have a name for your show, like projects and stuff. Like the last season of the Bulls, Phil Jackson called it The Last Dance. What are we going to call this weekly vlog? And looking back since we started this whole journey, the common theme here is just we're talking about life and we're talking about games. So I came up with a totally original title, My Life in Gaming. Welcome to the show. What? There's already a show called My Life in Gaming? Serious? I've never heard of it. Maybe I'm going to change my name from Queenate to Triforce with a 4 in it. Okay, honestly, looking back from when I started the show, I feel the true value of the show, at least for me, it's people with a common thread going through life together, helping, you know, giving opinions, giving encouragement. So allow me the honor of being the first to introduce you to Lester, a weekly vlog, a brotherhood for greatness. Why did I call it that? Because it's better than Queenate, the pretty good rapper. Rocking with the GOAT. It's kind of cheeky, but personally in my life, the one guy who's always helped me like work my shit out since like junior high has been like my best friend Lester. The guy I started this whole YouTube journey with. I remember telling Lester like years ago, we're going to change the name of our channel from Thriftdweller to Lester. He hated it. So I didn't even ask his permission, but I'm naming my show Lester in honor of my best friend. Welcome to Lester.
10 toes in when we standing on business.
I want to have arms like Get the Greg Games. Speaking of YouTubers, I watched a video. I want to get into it now from Mr. Wright Way. I wanted to make a positive response to his video because he had the cojones to be vulnerable on camera, to share his story. And it actually gave me some enlightenment. So I watched this video from Mr. Wright Way. For people who don't know who he is, I'll link him in the description below. And he made a video a little bit different from his usual videos. It's just like a free-flowing video where he talks about stuff that happens in his life, his detractors, just being vulnerable on the camera.
August 22nd, 1999. That was my 21st birthday. This happened.
So before I get into anything, first and foremost, I want to say to this man, I salute you. After he recounts this event in his life, he goes into talking about his trolls.
It's just something I just don't think about. Sometimes I think about it, you know? That's why I just look at when people be arguing over social media over dumb stuff, over video games. People actually get mad because somebody has more video games than them.
And again, if I was having an honest conversation with a friend and I was talking to him, not that I'm saying this is how he should have shot his video, but maybe offering a different perspective. There's a saying, right? You don't give your trolls, you don't feed the trolls. You don't give them oxygen. It's okay to acknowledge they exist. It's part and parcel for being a creator on YouTube. It's going to come. It's just like a reality of the thing. So we're not delusional and we pretend they don't exist. We know they're there. We see them. And I know he has haters. Like I've seen videos, pretty much whole videos dedicated to just criticizing the man.
But these grown men, they'll actually say they try to say hurtful stuff. It used to bother me.
And this is the part of his video where, like, I got hit with an epiphany. And it was the part where he brings up Phoenix Resale.
Creators like me and other people, we do struggle. This is not easy sometimes, you know, especially like in hobbies where money's involved. But that's kind of crazy, right? Like, and I'm not the only creator that does this. They say this about, you know, that boy Phoenix Resale. They talk about him all the time. I don't care what he does. I mean, he's it's his business. He's doing good.
And I think it's so interesting. It's like a contrast when you see how Phoenix Resale deals with his haters. Like, the more videos Phoenix Resale makes, he gets more haters, right? They tell him that he's ruining the market, he's ruining the supply, whatever. It doesn't affect the content he makes. He doubles down and makes the same content over and over. He's expanding, he's growing his business. Where Mr. Right Way, you can tell it bothers him so much. I feel like he made this video as a reaction to those haters.
And another thing too is another thing I'm gonna address, right? I don't get it why some people, and this is only on Facebook, which Facebook is private Facebook groups are, oh, I should make a video about that. Some of those private Facebook groups I had to leave.
And I respect him for doing it, right? He owned those things that people are making fun of him for, his limp, his fingers. But Phoenix Resale, why does he not let his detractors affect the content he makes? Why does he continue on? And that's when it hit me. It's like a way to help you become more mentally bulletproof is you have to have a long-term vision. You have to have a long-term goal. And you've seen in Phoenix Resale's videos over the years, that's why I appreciate his channel even more now. You've seen his plan unfolding before your eyes over the years. And the greatest response to his detractors is like no response. You don't see him really bring it up too much in his videos. I know he mentions them. He acknowledges their existence. At least in his videos, he doesn't show that it affects him to the degree that maybe Mr. Rightway showed in his video. In one of his latest videos, Phoenix Resale, he's going to be doing $3 million in sales next year. Despite his detractors. I'm making $3 million in sales next year. I have a lot of stuff to do. I don't have time for the haters. I don't have time for these people who are trying to negatively affect my mental state. So I think that is probably the biggest key I took away from watching this video. And Mr. Rightway, if he was my friend, Mr. Rightway, he just made a post, I think on Facebook, where he wants to get to like 50,000 subscribers. And I think that's great. That's a goal. Shoot for it. Make a concrete plan of how you're gonna get there every day. Repetition. If he did that, the haters wouldn't affect him so much, I feel. So thank you, Mr. Rightway, for having the courage to be vulnerable, share your story on camera. So respect, salute, good luck on your goal. Yeah, it's not fun to have haters, obviously, right? And to pretend that it doesn't affect you, that might be a little bit delusional, but I think there are things you can do to help keep your bulletproof. Know what I mean? The reasons for why you want to achieve that goal. The people you're doing it for. The more you can see it clearly in front of you, the less that these haters from the side can pull your attention away from that. And not just in YouTube, but in life. Shooting for something bigger. I want the next 10 years of my life, my journey, to be the best that it can be. You know, I'm not going to say I wasted my 30s, but I'm in a position now in life. Maybe this is my midlife crisis that I don't have talking, but I'm in a position where I feel I'm the most aware of myself and who I am, but still have the energy and the vitality in me to do something substantial in the next 10 years. The Brotherhood of Greatness. Let's do it. Let's do it. That's enough about life. Let's talk about the state of the video game collection. Like, that's a new graphic there. Oh, did you like the music too? I put in this a little bit more street. I love that song. Big Dogs. Every time I hear the song, I'm so, yeah. That's like one of the hardest intros to any rap song. The best Indian rap song ever. I don't know how high that bar is, but this song is pretty good.
10 toes in when we standing on business.
The state of the video game collection. Last week I was talking about it. The name of the game is Listing. I don't want people to have the wrong impression and think that I hate video games. Like, I still love video games. The thought of removing everything all at once is scary. So when I was talking about somebody coming in and buying my entire collection, I thought, what could I do instead of just getting rid of it all? And as And the same way this was a journey to amass all these games, I feel like if I took it upon myself, and it's going to take a while, probably years to actually, if I wanted to sell the entire collection, have it a journey of me releasing it back into the wild. Because I'm not in a rush to sell my video games, to be honest. I don't need the money. Like, all this stuff was just throwaway money for me, in a way. Like, I probably could have invested it in something better. Don't ask Casey. He said his video games did better than the S&P 500, which is really funny. Problem with that is that video games aren't liquid. They can't get converted to cash as quickly as like a stock can, or even precious metals. Video games are not an investment, people. So next week, I'm going to come up with a criteria of what is going to stay in my collection and why, and have a list of like the laws of Kuyonate's video game collection. I feel that if you have a set of guidelines, it takes the thinking out of it, but more importantly, it takes the emotion out of it. Letting things leave the collection because they don't fit this criteria. You live and you die by it. It makes decisions more simple, and you can focus your mental energy on more important things. Speaking of which, somebody reached out to me, I think on Facebook, and kind of was criticizing because I was showing things that I was listing last week, and I was putting the price of what I listed it for, and somebody maybe called me out. I don't think it was in a bad way, but was like, you probably should price your games more realistically. Like, I priced my games pretty high, and I kind of wanted to make a case and explain why I did that for people who are interested in that filthy reseller life.
That's how you make the money pop for everyone involved.
We ain't selling products, we selling culture. So yeah, why did I price my stuff really high? Like I said in the previous video, right now I'm focusing on just getting a really big selection of items on my eBay store, or like have a lot of listings up in preparation for Q4, the fourth quarter of the year. Because like in the reselling world, from what I hear anyways, like this is the time where the majority of your sales are going to happen, and I want to have as many hooks in the water when that time comes, which is pretty much now, so that way I can compete with these other bigger stores on eBay. So that was my mentality. I wanted to start listing like in September and price it kind of high in the hopes that if they didn't sell, they would just kind of get pushed into the next season, and by Q4 I would have this large amount of listings. And if they did sell, great, I put it up at a high price. And also, I give free shipping. It's one way to differentiate yourself from other people who don't offer free shipping. Even if you're hiding the price of the shipping in like what you're listing the item for, it still gives you, I think, an advantage to other sellers. And the last reason why I listed my game so high was, this was mainly for one game, Kid Dracula. It's from my personal collection. I said last video that if I want to maintain and keep up with the pace, my listing goals for the day, I'm kind of running out of all my doubles now, and I have to list for my personal collection. And I decided to list that game. I listed it pretty high, so I thought. Put it for like $230, free shipping. And I thought, you know, at least I know I'm going to get rid of it eventually, but this way, if I price it really high, it won't sell for a while. Like, if you think that's high, look at other listings, actually. I think I'm pretty comparable with them. But maybe I'll have some time with this game. I can play it. Maybe I can beat it before I sell it again. Really enjoy this game. So I listed it like at 7 o'clock. All my items list at 7 o'clock. 7:15 it sold. And this is why I say maybe I have a problem. It's the first time in this reselling journey where I'm getting rid of items from my collection, I felt a way about losing that item. You know, you start thinking, was it a mistake? Should I have kept this game? Will I ever see it again? Thankfully, somebody in the comments consoled me and said, you know, you could always just play that game emulated. Thanks, buddy. I will say this. As I played it one more time, said goodbye to my game. Tears were rolling down my face. But as I packaged it, I put some extra bubble wrap on it. I made it all nice so that way the person who buys it gets a nice experience when they open it up. And when I brought it to the post office and I left it there, maybe it was the money hitting my bank account, it made it easier for me to list more personal items online to sell from my personal collection. I actually listed another big hitter for the Game Boy Color. Survivor. What was the game? I already forgot the name of the game. That's how fast it left from my memory. That game just sold today. And another reason why I list my game so high, because they're going to stay on for a little while, it's easier for me to like lower the price of a game than it is to like increase the price and hope it'll sell later. I don't know how to explain it any better, but you get a little bit of a following on that game. Like maybe 4 or 5 followers will start watching it. And this is what I did with Survival Kids. I had like 3 people watching that item, and it was listed at like $260, $250, whatever. I lowered it to $199. sold right away. Now, I'm not going to do this with every game that I list because that's labor intensive, but it worked in this case, and it's always easier to lower the price of your game. People have even commented too that, don't worry about it. It actually gets easier. Some people have gone through the same emotions, the same feelings, and they know how it feels, but they're already like further along in their journey, and they're like, bro, it's fine. You're going to get used to it. It's no problem. You can always play it emulated if you really wanted to. So that's why I think it's very important, before I get too carried away, to make a rule set, laws of Queenate's video game collection, so I can easily decide what goes and what doesn't. So we'll have that next week. I've come up with a system actually with these things. One of the fears I had was that if I listed all these games, it's like, where am I going to store them? And I'm like, you stupid idiot. You already have shelves for these games. Just list the items online, take pictures of them, put a sticker on them like this. I put green on all the games that I have listed online that are actively for sale. Put a green sticker on it, put it back on the shelf. And in a way, you can still enjoy your collection before it sells. And if it sells, pull it out, get rid of it. No problems, no emotions, right? Name of the game this week in terms of being a filthy reseller is that I'm just going to keep listing. I want to list like a madman. That's why I'm so thankful to the comment from Cabbage. It really forced me to examine what pace I have to keep up with to sell my collection. Like I said, I'm not trying to get rid of everything, but I really was moving at a snail's pace. So next week, I'm going to try to take some footage of me like going through my collection. Ooh, I got rid of my PSP collection. The entire collection of everything I wanted to sell is online. Shout out to Neil. He saw that video and he's trying to go for like a complete PSP collection. So he reached out to me on a DM asking me about a few games, and I'm actually going to sell him some tomorrow. But yeah, the PSP collection, how do I feel about listing it and potentially purging it from the collection? I feel fine. I kept 2 games that I really wanted. What's going to go next week, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you now. I'm getting rid of my Game Gear games. They're actually selling pretty quickly. Like when I list them, if I put them at a decent price, they're gone. All right, next week we're going to talk about more items that are staying in the collection. I did buy a couple of things. I'll share it with you now. The importance of having a good listing picture, okay? There was a listing on Facebook Marketplace, and this was the picture, literally the back of this. This was the #1 picture. And I thought I was, smart. I clicked on it. The woman was actually selling both of these items on the listing. She said the battery on this one didn't work, which is fine. I have some batteries here. I'm going to practice replacing on it. No problem. I paid $100 for these 2 items, which is not too bad. So I go to pick up the items today. Woman hands me a bag. There's a box. There's a box in there, man. And there was a manual. Okay, there's no cover on this manual. And it's held together with a staple up here. So I don't think I'm going to do a manual replacement for this thing. Actually, you know what? That may be fun. Restore a manual. So print off like a new cover. I keep the guts of it OEM. Do a staple replacement. I did one of those already in the last video, right? But next week, we're going to do a pickup video. Absolutely. So in terms of the state of the video game collection, I really got to clean this room. I've been so busy just listing things, it just becomes a mess. I can see why people have separate spaces for their stores. I want to start trying to sell on what not. I was calling it what up last video. What not. I want to try doing that. I think that would be fun. Let me know if you've sold on that, or if you buy from that platform, what you think about it. Any tips and tricks. Queenate's Dyslexia strikes again. I thought this was a sweet shirt, right? Keep your circle small. That's the way my brain reads things. Temu strikes again. You should see the back of the shirt. It's even bigger. I bought my family a set of 4 of these on Temu. We only wear them for pajamas now because it's embarrassing to wear them out. That's a Drake song right there. Keep your small circle. The whole reason I started this show was to keep myself accountable to my goals, to missions, and I feel like I've deviated away from that. So I'm going to end every show on the Lester show now. Brotherhood for Greatness. With reiterating 3 commitments I'm going to make. Longer term commitments. Keep me focused to stop people from getting into the old noggin here. Keep it bulletproof. Okay? I said it in the first video. I just want a motorcycle. I said it a few times actually since then. I really like this thing called the Polaris Slingshot. Technically it's called like an autocycle. And I feel maybe that's like my midlife crisis vehicle. And I want to get one. And like, yes, I could probably afford one now without having to sell my video game collection. But I'm also in a point in my life where I want to not purge everything. I don't want to be a minimalist. But I want to refine what I have. Curate what I have. have everything in my life be more meaningful. You can probably see by the way I'm talking on this show, I'm overthinking every aspect of my life right now. This next 10 years are going to be great. So I made a target, a goal by next June, which is my 41st birthday. I want to own a Polaris slingshot. I will own a Polaris slingshot with money I raised liquidating my collection. It's real now. I said it on camera. It's real. Hopefully you guys will join me on this journey, okay? I will get better at shooting these vlogs or these weekly shows, promise. Second commitment. Fitness is very important to me. I have fallen off track since my 40th birthday. I actually took pictures of myself without a shirt and I put it on YouTube. Still had saggy skin, still had stretch marks, but I didn't care. I made a commitment to do it, and I did it. And by the end of 2024, December 31st, 2024, I will shoot a video taking off my shirt. That is the one that scares me the most. I have to stay accountable. I have to get fit. By golly, I said it on camera now. Oh my god, I better get started on my diet. I have like, what, 3 months to get... Oh, 3 months to get into shape? That's scary. Andy Elliott will help me.
Okay, stand up. Take your shirt off.
And number 3, my third goal is to stay accountable with making these shows and having them weekly on this channel. You guys really have enriched me making these videos and in a way affected my life, so I thank you guys very much for that. There's been some comments who are, I think they're kind of snarky. I can't read into them, the written comments, but I appreciate all comments, to be honest with you. I believe we should be able to learn from everything that happens to us. If you have any questions, if you have anything heavy weighing on your heart, you need to share it with somebody. Kuya Nate is here for you the same way you guys are here for me. Leave it in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for joining me. And before we go, the quote of the video, Kuya Nate say. What does Kuya Nate say today? I need a quote. Is this serendipitous or what? I looked up a quote about brotherhood, and this quote has the word dwell in it. Thriftdweller. The algorithm got me again, guys. Okay. Kuya Nate's quote of the day. This is from Psalms, from the Bible. Even if you don't believe in the Bible, a wise man can learn from anything. Okay, this is the first time me reading this quote. I like this. I'm going to meditate on this and maybe talk about it next week. Psalm 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Psalms, the Bible. Kuya Nate focuses on the responsibility of men and brothers who realize true unity is the key to success in making this world a better place. And that's some heavy shit here. On Lester, thank you very much for joining me. That's it. Take care of yourselves and each other.